What's up, friends? Today we're going to be talking about how to win in Mario 35. There are certain strategies you can do that are going to let you outlast your opponent when the timer starts ticking down really fast, or if they send a bunch of enemies your way to make sure that you don't die. But none of that is going to help you if you're jumping in pits all on your own. So first, we're going to talk about some fundamentals. It might seem like really basic stuff, but this is actually the most important stuff to have down. So I went to 4-1, it's a nice wide open stage that we can just practice some movement on. And I would play around a bunch on this stage with the momentum in the game, different types of jumps. You have backwards jumps, you have crouch jumps, you have really short jumps, which a lot of people struggle with when they first start. But yeah, it's important to get all of them down so that you can do whatever movement is needed to get through the situations, land exactly where the enemies are. And aerial momentum is probably one of the hardest things to maybe understand or get used to, because if you slow down too much, you can't speed back up. See, like if I tried to slow down too much midair, I don't get to speed back up until I land on the ground. But you can slow down just a little bit if you do like a little tap. So I would really practice that a lot. And yeah, you can just play the stage as much as you want and make sure that you get all the movement down as best as you can. That's going to be the most important thing. Also, you want to know how much space it takes to get up to speed. Like if you're stuck on some little platform, like this might not be the best example, but take like 6-3 or some level like that. You're going to want to know, can I accelerate here? Can I get up to full speed? Can I make that jump? And you got to be able to know that. So know how much space it takes to accelerate. And then also you want to know where all the hidden blocks are in all the levels, right? Power-ups and stars and 1-ups, those things are super important to win in this game. So you got to know where all the hidden blocks are, multi-coin blocks to get lots of coins, stars are extremely good in this game. You just want to know where they all are. Some levels have up to 4 power-ups, some have none. This level is one that has 4. Do you know where all of them are? There's all 4. Another good example is 2-1. And there's actually a website called NES Maps, which can show you off all of the maps. It's really easy to Google, but I'll put a link to it in the description. And that is going to look like this. So this is 2-1. It has a ton of hidden stuff in it. It has 4 power-ups, it has a star, it has a lot of sub-areas you can go in. So just check it out. You got a mushroom right here. You got a hidden 1-up with an invisible block to climb up to it. You got a power up here. You got the star here. You got this vine you can climb up. You have this pipe you can go down. You have another power up right here. And then if you take the coin heaven, you're going to come down right here. And then there's a multi-coin block here. There's another power up there. And I mean, I've just shown off 2 stages in the game. There's 30 more that you got to know where the power-ups and stuff are. Let alone enemies that you can do shell kicks with and, you know, all those sorts of things. So definitely you can use this website to see where all that stuff is. And those fundamental movements and knowing where power-ups and things are going to be actually more important than any specific Mario 35 game mechanics that'll help you win. Oh, and one more tip real quick is when you kick a Koopa shell, you can chase it with a fireball so that when it bounces off the wall, the fireball will kill it and it won't hit you. Alright, now let's actually get into a match. In my opinion, the average match of Mario 35 should look kind of like a plateau shape. You have your main 2 resources you're building up, which is time remaining and coins, and you're kind of building those up until the middle of the match when you're kind of just trying not to die or you're still building up. And once you get like a few hundred coins, you have 400 max time on the clock, then maybe towards the end the timer starts ticking really fast, you start rouletting a lot to stay alive, and it might start going down a bit, but at that point you should have hopefully built up enough that you can outlast your opponents. So pretty much start on 1-1 every time. Not sure if that is always true, but it's pretty much what I've seen. So always want to get to Fire Flower immediately and stay there so that you don't die. I always grab all these coins. I'm gonna kick this guy to get a little bit of time and then grab the star. Hopefully by now, since I'm taking a bit to do all this stuff, they're gonna send a bunch of enemies my way I can kill with the star, and then that will give me a bunch of time remaining. Alright, so not the most enemies, but not the fewest. I have 87. I've had more time remaining, but not too big of a deal. 1-2, there's also a ton of coins to collect in so that you can start building up your coin reserve. So you're going to want to grab those. Over here, there's a star most people probably know about. So you're going to want to grab that, kill all the enemies. This flower, you can kind of bounce off of the wall to get. Yeah, you don't want to hold left too early or you're not going to bounce off of it properly. It's just going to look like that. But if you push it late enough, then you'll bounce off. And that's a good mechanic to know about as well. But yeah, there's coins right here. If you come up here, there's a 1-up, which gives you 20 more. And then you want to come down this pipe. Grab all these coins. And then when you jump into the last one, jump into it backwards, or you'll accidentally walk into the pipe most of the time. So yeah, 1-1 and 1-2 are really common, especially at the start. Maybe that will become less so as people unlock more levels, but yeah, for right now, that's the case. I pretty much always go back to 1-2 if I see it in the warp zone, because I can just play it again, build up some more, and then I can just go in the warp and pick whatever level I want at the end again. So yep, we're just kind of building up time and building up coins. My goal is that before we get too late into the game with just a few players left, I want to have 400 time remaining, and I want to have like 300 or 400 coins. You know, so much that I can just roll the roulette as many times as I could ever need. Like, my opponent's gonna die before I run out of coins just spamming the roulette type of a thing, you know? So I've already played 1-2 a few times. I'm gonna go to 1-3 just to show off some more. This is another movement that you want to get down, is like fireballing on the way up to jumping somewhere. It's really useful, especially on stages like this. And don't worry about killing enemies too much near like the axe or near a flagpole, because when you finish the level, it's just going to kill them all for you. As far as which options to pick for who to attack, most of the time I just pick attackers because it's the only one that lets you target multiple people. So I just feel like I'm going to send enemies to more people and hopefully they die. More people are probably going to send enemies to me and I'll be able to build up time with it. So yeah, I don't think it matters that much, but that's just what I do most of the time. Alright, in 1-4, most of the time you can just shoot fireballs and you can actually just run straight past those fire bars. Okay, we're in the top 5, and I'm not quite as ahead as I'd like to be, but I do have almost max time, and I do have multiple 100 coins. We're still kind of in the phase where I can still do some building up before I'm too worried. Like, I think the really fast red timer comes after a set amount of time, so I'm not expecting that to come, you know, in the next minute or two. I think I still have some time to build up. But whenever that comes, I want to be at 400 health remaining, or time remaining. If my opponent is at 300 and I'm at 400 when the clock starts running down really fast, I think I win, basically, right? And I want to have so many coins during that time that anytime I take damage, I just roll the roulette and get power-ups back. Bowser's a good enemy to send to people because he's obviously a big nuisance, but sometimes you might just want to run past him if he's in a weird spot to try and hit. Gotta know where your 1-ups are. Gotta know where your stars are. Alright. And then Hammer Bros are the same. If you can send a Hammer Bro to someone, they're probably gonna do some damage. There's also this Coin Heaven in 3-1. I'm gonna use it right now while the timer's not ticking down too much. Like, you can't get enemies up here to refill your time, but we're not in the red timer yet, so I'm just gonna use it to give an even bigger safety net. You never know what's gonna go down towards the end. Maybe enemies get absolutely insane and you have to roll the roulette like 15 times, right? At the very worst, you just get lots of coins, so you get lots of XP and level up. Or you get a nice high coin high score. But at this point, I have plenty of coins. I'm just gonna focus on time pretty much. I'm just gonna wait for my opponents to die or for the clock to start going really fast and kill them. When that time comes, I'm having 400 seconds on the clock. There's sometimes like this where no one's really sending me enemies, so you might consider like picking someone else to target. Maybe they're killing more enemies and they'll send some to you. It's pretty hard to get up to max time when just no one's really sending you enemies. The good thing though is if no one is sending you enemies, it means they're not killing any, which means they're probably not having max time themselves, so... Okay, so here's a perfect situation where it's like, there's a lot going on, I'm kind of taking damage, there's a lot of hard enemies, I just really need to, yeah, roll the roulette. And that's what your coin reserve is for. I can see Bowser's coming up, so I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna roll another one. Get him out of the way. If you don't have fire or a star, or maybe even a shell to kick into him, Bowser's tough to deal with. So a lot of times I'll just roll that thing. But that's good. We got to kill a lot of enemies. I have over 300 coins, and I have full time remaining. So this is often the case. You'll get to top 5, and then there's a lot of really good players left. And so just no one dies for a long time afterwards. So you just have to keep up the pace. Just stay at 400. See, I have max time. At this point, hopefully they're getting hit by all these enemies I send them, but at the very least, I'm staying at max time, and if the timer starts ticking down really fast, I'm gonna win, because I'm gonna have full time. Alright, this is good. There's lots of enemies. Hopefully... Okay, cool, I got a KO, because of all the enemies I'm sending, so that's really great. Okay, we got the timer to turn red. This means, at this point, it's late game. I'm always pretty much going to want to be rolling the roulette to be Big Mario, and if there's lots of enemies, maybe to get a star so I can get lots of time back on the clock. Also, we encountered a stage with a Lakitu, which the game can get absolutely insane if Lakitu gets in the mix. You also can do like big stomp combos to get time. Not sure whether that's worth it or not, or whether you should just keep prioritizing like moving ahead to spawn more enemies and then finding stars. Or shell kicks. Shell kicks are pretty much the best thing, actually. Like, this will get you so much time. But yeah, I just have to outlast these two guys, and there's actually a few different stages of the red timer. It starts going down fast, and then faster, and then I don't know if it just goes fastest or how many levels of it there are, but when it's at fastest, it's basically like someone is dying in the next like 10 seconds, and you better hope that you had the most when it started counting down, because anything you're doing right now isn't stalling it for very long. Alright, just one guy left. I have 1,000,000 coins. I look down, I see he has plenty of coins too. 3-2, this is actually the stage that I put it into the mix. Because it has a star, it has lots of shell kicks you can do. I think it's a pretty good stage, and a lot of people might not know how to use it fully with the shell kicks and stuff. So I threw it in the mix this time. I don't always. Most of the time I'm putting farther stages in. But yeah, just thought it was a good example to put in there. So yeah, I have full time and 400 seconds and 400 coins. I'm sitting pretty, and we'll just see if that guy can deal with all the enemies I'm sending or with the timer ticking away. I have plenty of coins, so even though there's power-ups coming up, it's like, whatever. I'm still gonna roll this thing just to make sure that I don't die. Alright, and 1-2 is a great level to get late in the game, because like I said, there's a star, there's shell kicks, there's just tons of resources, and at the end, there's also lots of power-ups to give you time, but at the end, you can see the timer is starting to go really fast. This isn't the fastest it goes, but this is one of the faster settings. At the end of this stage, there's the warp, and this is really good. I can see, okay, I'm gonna go to 1-2 again because it has a star and lots of shell kicks I can do. If you can keep going to 1-2 at the end, it is your friend. Alright, he's small Mario, he's taking some damage, so he looks like he's about to die. I'm going 1-2 again. At the very least, I'm picking a stage that has a star or like lots of shell kicks I can do. Okay, the timer is going like as fast as it possibly can, so I am speedrunning straight to the star. He's not sending me like hardly any enemies, and all I can assume is that he's not getting much time himself, and he's about to die. Yeah, I can see his timer's red, and I win. Yep, that's exactly how it goes. Even though my time ticked down quite a bit, he wasn't sending me as many enemies, so I outlasted him. Because I started with 400 seconds when all that happened. And yeah, it's pretty much how it goes. I don't have to spend any time powering back up or collecting more coins because I did that earlier. And I had all the reserves so that when the downward trend of the game started, we start using up all our resources, I just had more. So yeah, that's basically my tips for how to win Mario 35. Get the basic mechanics down and the knowledge of the game, like where the power-ups and stars are, and then use it to your advantage to get lots of coins, full time remaining, and then when the timer starts ticking down fast, you speedrun straight to those stars and those shell kicks, and you outlast your opponents. So there you have it. In the process, you might get 2,600 coins. I wasn't even focusing on coins that round that much. I just got a big reserve and played properly, basically. So there you go. Good luck. Hope you get lots of wins. See you later.